Hello, and welcome to episode 206 of Film Night. My name's Richie.
My name's Jack.
My name's Henry.
And my name's Joe.
And in today's episode, we're talking about past lives. How's everyone doing?
Excellent.
Yeah, good to be back, lads. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Oh God, we say this every episode.
I was going to say, I feel like that's a
been
common,
a while.
common question, common phrase.
How have we done? Yeah,
Though.
but just to make it
it
clear to the listeners, we do talk outside of this podcast. It's not like we haven't spoken in months.
Yeah, in case you were all worrying.
If you're all worrying about that, yeah, we are actually friends outside of the podcast.
Yeah.
Beat yourself. Really, and my listeners know, but it's the real reason we haven't recorded for the best part of 3 months is because we've taken the sad news of Blackpool's demise to heart.
That's true.
But it's really affected us, and now feels like the right time to come back.
We were in a period of mourning, boys, weren't we? Really?
Yeah, we were.
Wood's got the black all in his house, and we're just sort of like getting out of it, and moving forward. So
moving forward.
It could well have been the end of the podcast as a whole. You know, if it would have been
full circle.
It would have been an appropriate time, but we fucked that up now. So
can't go back now.
Can't go back.
Yeah, but that is a good point. It knocked us for six, that, and I think we've just needed this time to just gather ourselves and just kind of get used to life without Blackpoolodian, because it's been tough.
Do you know what else knocked me for six?
Go on.
What?
This week? It has been 10 years since we left sixth form. How has that happened?
Yeah.
It's
little school reunion.
10 years we saw each other.
We did. We went to a school reunion last week, which I don't know if many people in this country actually do.
It's a very
Yank,
American
isn't
thing.
it? Very Yank.
It is a bit Yank, and the turnout reflected that.
Yeah.
But
whenever you see school reunions in the films, it's like
everyone.
Hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a small
about
group
20
that
odd.
turned up to this one. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But I don't know about you, lads, but I had quite a good time.
Yeah, I did actually.
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair, shout out to Wendy and Gabe and the rest of the girls that organised it.
Sure, they're listening. Yeah.
I know you're listening.
I'm sure they want their names in.
Oh yeah, first name only. But I really enjoyed it, and it was what made it so great was the fact that we were actually in the school. I think that added to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because we could have done it at a pub, could have done it at someone's house, but to actually be in our old library.
It was interesting. It was quite a couple of changes to the school that they've made.
A couple, but on the whole, it was
not many.
You weren't impressed? I mean, you weren't impressed, Joe? No.
No. I mean, it didn't. It sort of felt like our old school, but it didn't feel like our old school.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we won't get into the politics of it. There was
save that for Pep's corner.
There was quite a few things. Yeah, there was quite a few things that I just thought, this doesn't sit right. But
I know what you mean.
There we go. I mean, I don't know how much that school brings in, but some of those classrooms need a bit of doing up.
Yeah,
need a lick of paint at least. Come on.
Yeah.
Some of them were in quite a bad state actually.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, it's to be expected because that school's best years were the years that we were there, of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But anyway,
so it was great.
That was an enjoyable time. Has anyone got any other little tidbits they want to sort of bring up before we talk about the film?
I'm off on a little trip tomorrow to New York.
Of course.
Ooh, yeah.
Can't wait.
Exciting.
Just going there. What day? Yeah, Friday till Tuesday. So only a little short city break with a guy that I used to work with And yeah, we spoke about it a lot when I was still working there, because he's obsessed with America. He loves it, and so he's gotten me into all the American sports and all that stuff. And we said, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool to go?" But obviously, it's just chat, isn't it? You don't really think it's going to happen, especially considering I left that job, left him for dead. But we stayed in touch, and we've organised it. And yeah, I'm really pleased we have, because it's going to be good. And what I like about it is we haven't planned that much stuff. Like, we've not got an itinerary where it's like, right, tomorrow we're doing this, this, and this. Just going to go over there and just see what happens.
Hang out.
Yeah, just explore. Obviously, yeah, out and about, see lots of stuff, hopefully. But I think it's just quite nice sometimes to not have. No, but I just think it's nice not to have a plan all the time, you know.
Yeah. See where the day takes you.
What films are you going to watch?
I don't know if I'll get to the cinema, to be honest.
No, like on the plane.
Oh, on the plane. Yeah, that's a good question. See what they've got for me on the system there.
You can do a Broadway show, Jack.
Good
Probably
question.
not.
Try and get to. Oh, okay.
I mean, that's a shame, Jack.
Well, I know it's obviously you guys
are not going to go to Broadway.
Look, as I said, it's going to be spontaneous, so who knows what we might end up doing. But
we just need to follow
definitely not that
channels, don't you?
I wouldn't appreciate it as much as. Look, I do enjoy musicals, and
I don't know how easy it would be to just get into one on a whim anyway.
Yeah, it might be difficult.
Okay.
So I'm sure it would be great, but I can't promise anything. But obviously, next time we record, I'll fill you in with all the details.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, so that's a little trip that I've got coming up.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm sure you'll enjoy that. I'm very, very jealous. Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, thank you, boys.
All right. Shall we get into the review?
I think we should.
I think so.
Okay. The film that we are doing this week is Past Lives, and it's directed by Celine Song, and it stars Greta Lee, Teo Yu, John Magaro, and Moon Sung-ga. Synopsis is: Nora and Hae Sung, two deeply connected childhood friends, are rest apart after Nora's family emigrates from South Korea. 20 years later, they are reunited for one fateful week as they confront notions of love and destiny. What did you all think of Past Lives? Do you want to start us off, Jack, since I think you were the first one to see the film?
Yes, and I advocated for this to be our next review, because we weren't too sure, really, were we? Because this summer, aside from the Barbenheimer extravaganza, it's been a bit dead. And I know summers are always reserved for blockbusters.
Well, I mean, I suppose it depends on where you count in summer from, because I guess there's those Across the Spider-Verse, which I know we weren't too keen on, but lots of other people were very much into.
Yeah, but I just mean
Mission
Impossible.
I don't
know, yeah. I mean, obviously it hasn't just been Barbie and Oppenheimer, but I just mean maybe it's just me, maybe I don't know, but I've personally felt whenever I've looked at what's on, it's just hasn't been a lot for a good 2 or 3 months, really. So that's just what I felt. But this was one that I was quite excited for before it came out, because I'd heard about it and read about it in Empire, and it did well at some festivals. Had some.
Is that where you first heard about it, from Empire? Because I hadn't.
Don't know, to be honest.
I heard it from you guys.
It might have been. I can't remember exactly whether it was just reading about it on Twitter or something, but yeah, it was something like that. It was reading about it. Probably when it was doing the festivals. I think Sundance was the big one that it's kind of, when it played at Sundance, it got a lot of it gained a lot of what am I trying to say, attention.
Okay.
And so it might have been around that time, which is earlier in the year, isn't it? And it's just obviously close we've got to the release date. I've seen a few more things about it and got excited for it. And I saw the trailer and it looked good as well. It was a nice trailer, so I knew that as soon as it came out, I was going to go and watch it. And I'm pleased to say, boys, that it did not disappoint. I really, really loved it. And again, it's worth noting that this is a directorial debut from. Sorry, Richie. Could you? Celine Song, was it?
That is the way I pronounced it.
Yeah.
I presume that's correct.
So this is a directorial debut,
Yeah.
and that just makes the whole thing even more impressive. I think she was a playwright before she went into film. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and you can really see that as well when you watch it, because it's extremely nuanced. I love the script. It just felt extremely realistic, extremely organic. The characters were just, so believable, and the chemistry between the two leads was, well, I know there's three leads, but obviously the two main characters that the story revolves around was fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like a play. Thinking about it, the dialogue is kind of almost the standout element for me, anyway. Even though it's a different language. Subtitles were great.
Just on that, the subtitles. What did you guys think? Sorry.
What do you mean?
No, what?
I liked them, Joe. I think I would have struggled without them, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
No, so first scene, first camera opens,
yes,
and you hear
in the bar
American voices. What did you think was happening? Did you think you had dubbing on?
No.
I think I knew that there was. Okay, that's funny.
I thought I got dubbing on, so I started watching it, and I'm going, where are the subtitles? I can just hear these American voices.
Where are the subtitles? I'm hearing it in English.
I was like, oh no, please don't say it's dubbed. Please don't say it's dubbed. And then finally, the subtitles.
Yeah.
I went with I did go with a couple of mates, and one of them just turned to us when it was started and just went, "Wow, my Korean's got really good. I didn't really expect it to understand." Which made us laugh. But yeah, no, I think I knew that one of the main characters in the film was American, so it wasn't that much of a surprise to me. I figured there would be a bit of a mixture, maybe, of English and Korean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you, Jack. I really enjoyed this. I loved it, actually. I feel like it's maybe up there as one of the best of the year so far for me.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Does anyone have an opposing opinion at all?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say, unfortunately, I
do. No. I agree with everything that's been said. I really enjoyed this. Films like this, I really, really enjoy, because you can go to cinema and see a big spectacle like Across the Spider-Verse or Oppenheimer or whatever, and it blows you away in a different way of something like this does. With this, I was trying to think of a film that it reminds me of, but it's like all the things that aren't said, and it's just the tension.
Yeah.
The amount of time that I was like so like anxious and on the edge of my seat, even though it's just three people, really. Three people. There's no CGI. There's no hero, no baddies. It's just a story told over many years, and the way it's done, it was just incredible. And yeah, I agree. I agree with Clark in the fact that it's a first-time director who's come from obviously the playwriting world. I mean, it does make it that even more impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just
something I love about. Sorry,
I was going to say yet another slam dunk from A24, isn't it, boys? Yet again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but something else on that kind of what you were saying, Woody, that I loved about this is that there's plenty of opportunities for there to be like lots of forced conflict or people acting in just sort of the sort of classic way that films like this, like romance films, like a love triangle type thing, would go. But everyone was just sort of like a normal adult person, and just
Yeah.
no one just sort of acted like erratically, and there wasn't any forced conflict. It was all it was all just so maturely sort of done.
Yeah, it's really
and
refreshing.
yeah, it was very refreshing. That
Yeah.
was something that I
And
just really liked about
That
it.
was my word for it. Yeah, I was going to say.
and that just goes to show the confidence that she has in her own ability. Even as a first time director, she's got full confidence in the writing. She's got full confidence in the actors, and you know, I'd forgive her for thinking, oh, hang on a minute, this isn't a play, this is a film. People are going into the cinema wanting,
Sure.
you know, an action scene or an argument, or just something else other than
Yeah,
what we have.
something more visual.
Yeah. But clearly she just backed herself and knew that the quality of the writing was there. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
What did you-
we were talking before, Jack, about you were saying we were talking about Broadway because you're going to New York, and you were saying that you wouldn't appreciate it as much, but
not as much as you two is what I said.
okay, but for the sake of the argument,
Yeah.
so often a film will come out where it's written by someone with a playwright background, or has some kind of inspiration of a play
The Father.
involved in it. The Father, exactly.
Mm.
And you will just absolutely love it. So
So
maybe you should challenge your perceptions on that
yeah. No, that's
subject.
true. That is
What
true.
did you what did you boys think of the visuals? I thought, and I don't know if you could tell the sort of when it was previously, so when they were younger. I don't know if you could just tell the graininess of the film. I think it was very slight, but there was some sort of difference between back when they were kids to back when they were older, and I thought that was a really nice technique. It wasn't over the top, it wasn't too much, but just distinguished between the two times.
That's definitely possible. I don't really remember myself now, but I can definitely believe that would be something that would be done, because there was quite a lot of effort put into setting the timelines of everything, and you could tell that like all the technology they used, and Facebook UI and stuff that they had on there. It was
all that took me back. Got to be old iPods.
Bit of Skype. Yeah.
That was nostalgic.
There was a lot of effort put into that, which I really appreciated. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Joe. I don't actually remember. I don't know if anyone else sort of picked up on that.
I can't say I did, but it has been a couple of weeks, and for something that subtle, it's
it wasn't extreme.
Yeah.
It was very subtle, but I just thought, that just a nice little slight graininess for the first bit, and then sort of more bright colors, and obviously when they're in New York, just a complete contrast, really.
You had to stretch your imagination a bit in terms of the aging of the characters, didn't you? They go from
it's always a way with this, though, isn't it? I mean,
it's not something that I would really put as a proper criticism of something like
no.
of this kind at all.
Unless you're doing something like Moonlight, where it's 3 different chapters of a life, so it's 3 different actors, and you can kind of, I mean, that's the only way you can kind of get around it. But yeah, we didn't do this.
They could have done that in this, but it would have been. I think I think that might have been a bit too distracting from what was more important about the film.
I think you'd lose the relationship and the connection that they had as characters if they
agree
were
with that.
Different actors each time. I think it would just be for the viewer. You just realize that there were different people, and you wouldn't keep that connection.
Yeah, because this isn't the longest film in the world either. I mean, I don't know how long Moonlight
140, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a good
this
length.
or Moonlight.
This.
No, this.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was pretty short, and it was very tight. It was really good pacing.
Yeah.
But so I don't know how long like Moonlight is, if that like had a bit more time.
It's definitely longer.
Yeah, Moonlight's definitely like two. It's like more than 2 hours. And actually,
Yeah.
that's kind of now I've said that. That's one of them that I do kind of think of where it's the unsaid things that are like
Yeah.
most hard hitting, and it's especially in that film when it's like Call Me by Your Name's the same as well, where it's like
Yeah.
what the
Wow,
characters
great reference.
what the characters don't do. I mean, you can just tell that someone just there's something there for both of them, but we just can't get the words out, and
Yeah.
agonizing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Many-
Especially when the guy that couldn't speak English was talking to the guy who couldn't speak Korean. That was very difficult.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like 100%. Some of the most intense scenes were definitely ones where actually they weren't even speaking. And again, it goes back to that point of Celine Song having confidence in what she wants to do, because lots of close-ups, lots of long takes. There wasn't lots of cuts. It left the camera often on the two characters for perhaps longer than would feel natural. And so at times, as a viewer, it kind of felt like we were like eavesdropping on something really, really personal.
Yeah.
And
it just held on those awkward moments for you as well.
Oh God, when they were waiting for the taxi, it lasted so
Yeah.
long.
That was absolutely brilliant. I love
Yeah.
that whole.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Not a single word was said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually that
takes some balls to do that, honestly.
it really, yeah.
It's
And
difficult
actually,
to do, isn't it?
yeah. And the fact that was done, the fact that that's the creative decision that she went with, made the ending, made what happened just after that when she walks back even more heart-wrenching. Because if they had spoken and they had a proper goodbye, if you like, I don't think it would have had quite the same impact as what did happen.
Yeah. I had goosebumps at that moment at the very end, and actually it's just given me them again now. But
yeah, it was, yeah.
So
and it is interesting. It does kind of make you think about like those sliding doors moments in everyone's lives. We've all had moments where it's like, what if I hadn't have made that move?
Yeah.
Or what if, instead of moving to Liverpool, I'd moved to a totally different. No, but I'm just saying, like, in everyone's lives, there are those moments where you make a big decision.
What if you don't come back from New York?
Yeah.
Oh Christ, that's a bit dark.
I love the comparison.
Because you love it so much.
Yeah.
No, because obviously I'm using that as my example, just like, but even tiny things.
I love the comparison of what if I hadn't moved from Ricky to Liverpool compared to
the whole life.
What if I hadn't emigrated from South Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously I can't relate to that. And actually, that's a good point as well. People who have made that kind of a life decision, or their parents have, and watching this must have given them a whole range of emotions that obviously we can't relate to. But I just mean even the tiny things every single day. When you make a decision that you don't even think that hard about, because it's not necessarily a big decision, but it can still affect your future in a way that you don't know.
I think it adds to the authenticity of the whole film, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We didn't spend too long when they were kids. From the kids' perspective, they're happily living their lives. All of a sudden, mum and dad want to move. Next thing you know, we're on a plane, and like the whole life's just changed. And I kind of do think it did add to the kind of the realism of the film and the characters, was that you would in that situation, if you've been plucked out of Seoul and you go to Canada and then New York, like you would just lose contact with anyone that you had any contact with when you were 12 years old. Like it just would happen. And
the technology wasn't there, was it?
The technology wasn't there, and then Facebook came around, and Skype and whatever they were using came around, and it did kind of have that effect of, oh yeah, I can reconnect with someone from my childhood and get it going again. And it was so well done. It was so well done in that regard.
Yeah, I think it's a bit autobiographical as well, because
gotta be, hasn't it? It's gotta be.
Looking at the director, she pretty much mirrors the main character here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Born in South Korea, and
So it's a personal
her
story.
family emigrated to Canada
Yeah.
when she was 12.
Yeah.
Her father's a filmmaker, so yeah.
So having saw After Sun, now you could just tell that was a personal story. It's semi-autobiographical, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that films like that, that's why they're so good, is because in a way, a lot of it is based on truth, and you can't write that sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, though, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
True.
None of it was showy, was it? None of it was.
No, it was very reserved.
Yeah, it was very reserved.
I think that's what makes it, like you said, refreshing. I think like Wood said, you can go to the cinema and watch all these big blockbusters and these big, great films like we've seen recently, and then something like this just makes you sit back in your seat and just appreciate film for what it is. It doesn't have to be over the top. I bet the budget probably wasn't that much, really. It just makes you appreciate that there is films out there, and the fact that it got released in the cinema as well. That's definitely a positive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you enjoyed going to cinema, didn't you?
I do enjoy going to the cinema. Yeah.
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 Don't use that bit.
That's all right. Yeah. Does anyone have any other points you want to make on Past Lives?
I will say I loved the score.
Okay.
I think that's worth a mention.
Yep.
Just as all good scores do, it just added so much. Especially in a film like this where there are long scenes without any dialogue, and so that's all you've got in the background, and really, really powerful. So yeah, definitely worth a mention, I think.
True. There's definitely one to rewatch for me, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but there's loads in there that just a little glance here or there that you might have missed. Because a lot of it was just done with facial expressions, reactions. And I love this. Just go back to the Skype calls. That was one of my favorite sections, actually. Like just seeing them have these chats, especially the time difference element was interesting. Like she was just about to have dinner and he was like waking up for
you must be able to relate to this, Jack.
Oh. Well, you mean
because of all your foreign girlfriends?
Yeah, but this is a bit different. The time difference is 1 hour between here and Amsterdam.
Yeah, true.
But no, that I loved all those conversations because it's all just small talk. It's all just what people, you don't go on Skype and not every conversation is really deep and about like what we're going to do and stuff. It's just about what you're doing for dinner and what you're up to, and it's just all small talk and stuff that doesn't actually matter. But they're just talking about it because they want to talk to each other, and it almost doesn't matter what they're saying. It's just that connection.
So natural, like when they first started Skyping as well. That kind of like reunion-esque.
Yeah, that can't be easy to pull off.
Yeah, you almost don't even think about it, but yeah, really natural.
Yeah. So yeah, great film.
I think there is something about the emotion as well, isn't there? Like you, as a viewer, you get connected to the emotion, but because it is very reserved and although the emotions are shown, they're not shown at the same time, if that makes sense. It's very held back, it's very reserved. I think that just
so it makes you as the audience
feel the emotion more.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you have to do the work to
yeah, and it creeps up on you as well.
Interpret it.
Because it is so subtle the whole way through. By the end, when we finally do see that emotion kind of released, it hits you even harder because it's like crept up on you.
Yeah, and this is like honestly my favorite things about if a film can sort of get that kind of feeling from me. That's like like the best thing for me, I feel like.
Yeah.
But we haven't talked much about the Lado, the American.
No.
What do we think of him?
I thought he was great as well.
Yeah,
That's a bit of an intimidating role to
That's a tough role, isn't it? Yeah.
have
brilliant.
to do.
And again, just so well done. He wasn't like an absolute over the top shithouse, resenting.
No.
He's just kind of, he's just like he was a nice bloke, but I mean,
A little weak cuck.
but the way, the way he did it, it was just been so easy to write back in the completely wrong way.
Oh yeah.
And just get someone screaming and shouting, throwing things and overacting. But the way he did it in the way he handled the situation was just, again, just adds to the depth and the realism of the characters. And yeah, I really liked him. He played the role very well. I can't say I've seen that much of him before. I recognise him from The Big Short, but that's kind of it.
Oh really? I didn't even clock that.
I recognised him. I couldn't put a name to the face, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's obviously been in a few things, but
I just assumed with it being a bit more of a independent thing. But
he's the most well known of the three, I think. Yeah.
Many Saints of Newark he was in.
Oh right. That's the Sopranos thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
John Majaro. Let's give him a shout out, John.
Good work, John.
Yeah, it was very mature, wasn't it? And I like that when he said, like, look, I'm not gonna. He's travelled all the way from Seoul. I'm not gonna stop seeing him.
Yeah. And you're like waiting for that kind of like reaction, aren't you? Because like that's what happens in every film.
Yeah.
You know, of this
you're
kind of
expecting
topic. It. Yeah, you're expecting him to be like, I don't know what, but you know.
Yeah.
But that like meeting of the three of them for the first time in the doorway was so like awful, but like great, you know.
Yeah.
Just looking actually at his letterbox, John Majero, and he was in Carol as well. Now I don't remember him in Carol, but that's another similar film. I don't know if anyone else has seen that, but it's another one that's like this untold,
I never saw Carol.
Untold kind of love story.
Who's Carol?
Kate Blanchett was Carol, I think.
Okay.
And Rooney Mara was like her lover type thing back in the. I think it's set in like the 40s and 50s, so it's all frowned upon as lesbians. And it
still is.
Yeah, but it's still all that kind of thing about subtleness and not being able to express your feelings and emotions for someone.
Yeah.
That's quite funny actually. But he was in that, and I don't remember his part, but there you go.
Fair enough. Cool. Well, I reckon that we could probably move on from this now. We've got a Barbenheimer jobby to do as well. Don't forget.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, do we want to do favorite scenes?
Yeah.
Taxi.
I've got. Oh, you bastard.
Taxi. The walk from the house to the from.
Yeah, I mean that is the best one. I mean that's the best scene. So.
Yeah, and then back again, the whole thing.
Yeah, and then as the taxi's coming, there's like subtle movements from the two of them, as if like getting closer, and then all of a sudden the taxi comes, and he puts his arm out, and that's it. He just incredible and just amazing.
And I liked what he said at the end as well, just before he got in, about because they were touching on that. I can't remember the name of it, but there's like a South Korean philosophy or
the past lives.
Yeah, the whole thing about past lives and how people who you brush shoulders with
title
every
of
day.
the film.
No, but it had a name. It had an actual.
It had an actual
in something
was,
in
yeah.
A short little Korean word.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. Yeah, something like that.
Inju Honji, that was it.
And yeah, he just sort of said, maybe we'll meet again in another life down the line or something like that. Yeah, so
no, that was great. I loved all the past life stuff. It was really good.
You're right, Woody. I think that is the best scene, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think a scene of a mention is what we just were talking about, the meet of the two guys.
Yes. Pep's come in quick with another.
I think that was a.
Sorry, Pep. Which scene? Sorry.
When the two guys met for the first time.
The triangle.
Oh yeah, in the doorway.
When he went in the doorway when they went to the apartment.
When he says, "What do you want for dinner?" and he wants pasta.
Pasta,
Yeah.
yeah. And then that cut to them walking down the street, and so awkward almost, you know.
Oh yeah, that was really good because he
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
We've never been to the Statue of Liberty.
She'd never been with
yeah.
him. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
good. That was good.
Yeah. That
A
was
little
good.
bit of tension there. Oh, we've never done that. Oh, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was good.
I've got to admit though, boys, I mean, I will just say it now. I think if I was him, the American dude, and I'd taken, I mean, my wife and her long lost friend to dinner, then I think I probably would have been slightly annoyed and frustrated that they then went and started talking in their native language.
Yeah.
He took that
for the
very
whole
well.
time.
He did take that a bit too well.
I think I would have probably interrupted at some point and said, "There's 3 people in this conversation. You know, please."
It was extremely rude. That, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she actually had like her back towards like him.
But that is kind of the point.
Yeah.
But I think.
But I was thinking the same.
In real life, I think I would have been. But hang on, let's hold our horses here. Come on, I'm
You just taps on the shoulder.
Come on.
No, you'd have just gone. Barkeep, no more, please.
Yeah.
Keep him going, boy.
This is my date tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think I'd like to go with that bar scene. Actually, I think that was a really good one as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great looking bar.
Lovely bar.
Yeah.
I'll have to search for the filming locations.
Yeah, definitely. Well, one of them was Statue of Liberty, so see if you can find that one.
Yeah, where was that?
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, what we're going to give this one out of 10, boys? 9 for me, I think.
I think I'll go 8.5.
Yeah, I think I'll join you on. I think I'll join you, Woody.
With room to move up on a rewatch, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely with room to go up. Yeah.
What do you think, Pat?
I think I'd go with that 8.5. Bit of wiggle room. Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, that's that then. Shall we move on to Barbenheimer?
Let's dive into it, boys.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Jesus Christ!
Oh, God.
What was that?
Sorry, is that not good for the audio? I've forgotten. Sorry.
Oh, he's so
Out
much
of practice.
Right, come on.
Okay. We have decided that we are going to dedicate a section of this episode to the big old Barbenheimer craze. But yeah. And we realized that we're very late in talking about these films.
Fashionably.
But, fashionably. Yeah, I mean, how late is fashionably late? But yeah, we felt like even though we've left it this long, that it's a phenomenon that's worth talking about nonetheless.
Well, these films are going to be glad of this, because just as their popularity is just down to 1 or 2 screenings a day, our review gets released and bang, they're back up to 7 screenings a day.
Yeah, I don't know if the makers behind Barbie and Oppenheimer we're gonna make it this year. I don't know if they're gonna make a profit.
The numbers weren't looking good.
No. But yeah, so we're now going to give our thoughts on Barbie and Oppenheimer. Do I need to do the usual spiel, or do we just go straight into it, boys?
I think we can go straight in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Which do you want to start with, Joe?
Well, this is a discussion in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because obviously this is what a lot of people were doing, is doing a double bill.
Yes.
And I believe the most popular method was Barbie first. Is that right?
I think so. That's certainly what I went for, and I think that was by far the correct choice.
Yeah, you're the only Film Night member that actually did this.
Yeah, no commitment from the rest of you.
No, it's poor. It's poor. At least you've seen it though.
Yes,
Like,
very
like
true.
some members of Film Night.
Yeah.
Well, if we start with Barbie, yes, one of us might be left out of the conversation a bit.
That's
Pepster,
all right
you
though.
didn't get a chance
all
to
right.
see it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah, even though we are doing it so late.
You know what, boys? I think this is just an impact of the closure of the Odeon, Blackpool Odeon Cinema.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
I 100% think that. I think just traveling to Cleveland's or traveling to Preston, and I know you've got the Island Cinema, but traveling to those,
that's a ball ache just to go to the cinema.
It's quite a distance to travel. You know, half an hour there, half an hour back, especially after work. You know, so if Blackpool Odeon was open, it would have been watched. I'm telling you that for certain.
Yeah, we're already seeing the effects, aren't we now?
But no, I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys and just and some of those listeners may not have seen Barbie, so putting sort of their perspective across.
Thing is as well, we're really trying to justify this.
Like to go and see Barbie and Oppenheimer at the Island. I mean, that is a long time to be sat on those seats, and it's not comfy, are they? You want to be on a recliner or a nicer seat, which you just don't get. I mean, you didn't get that Blackpool Odeon. Let's be honest.
No,
those seats were dire.
They were so bad, and the legroom was awful. When we went to see the final film we ever saw there, I mean, obviously it was an emotional experience, but my legs were so uncomfortable.
When we were coming out, we were like, Jesus Christ, knock her down already. She's fucking she's fucked.
Get those seats ripped out.
Put her out of her misery. Oh my God.
So let's get into Barbie then, because we can't go down the rabbit hole of Blackpool Odeon again. My God.
No, we've done that.
Richie, go on then. Go on. Why don't you kick us off for a change? If you did do the Barbenheimer double bill.
Okay, I'll kick us off. I probably start off on less of a hype note than the others. I did enjoy Barbie, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as most people, or even my colleagues from the Letterboxd reviews that I saw. I thought it was pretty funny, very good performances from the main two, and then less so from everyone else, really. Well, not everyone else. There was I'd say there were good actors and bad actors, or less good actors, really. No one was really like that bad. In terms of plot, I felt like it was kind of messy and not really sort of much that I could sort of get on board with. I think I'm kind of struggling to remember quite a lot, because it's been a long time since I watched it now. But yeah, I remember having that sort of feeling. I wasn't so keen on the America. What's that woman's name?
America Ferrera.
The mother.
Yes, I wasn't too keen on her or the daughter sort of storyline.
Yeah,
I thought there was quite a bit of cringe in that, actually. But I did think Will Ferrell was good. I thought he was kind of funnier than I've seen him be in quite some time.
Yes.
Just good for me, I think. Yeah, really. That's where I land on it. If it weren't for Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, I'd say it probably would have been nowhere near as good.
Oh yeah. They were outstanding, weren't they?
Yeah.
Just reading something here. This is mad. So obviously this Barbie was originally going to be Amy Schumer.
Yes.
As
we are very much aware. Yes.
Yeah, it was talked about quite a few times. But then apparently, so this is on Wikipedia, so take it with a pinch of salt. But then it was offered to Anne Hathaway.
Oh, really?
And then it was offered to Gal Gadot.
Oh dear.
And then it was offered to Margot Robbie. You think?
You think she would have been higher up the list than that?
Yeah, you just think, if you close your eyes and think of Barbie, it's Margot Robbie, isn't it? It just is. She just is Barbie.
Are you sure that's not just every time you close your eyes you think of Margot Robbie?
I mean, yeah, there's something. But it would have been such
She
a
is the
different
obvious
film.
choice. Yeah.
It would have been such a different film if either of those three, any of those three, would have been.
I mean, Gal
We've come a
Gadot, my
long
Christ,
way.
what would that have been?
Yeah,
We've come a long way since the Amy Schumer version.
Gal Gadot turned it down for scheduling. I mean, thank God that we're making another bloody Wonder Woman or something. She wasn't in it. Thank you, Marvel. Thank you.
Yeah. The best thing Marvel's. Sorry, I know it's DC, isn't it?
DC.
Thank you, DC.
Yeah.
Best thing you've done.
Just use DC and Marvel to just keep all the terrible actors
away from
busy
other projects.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely didn't know that. I mean, we knew about Amy Schumer, and what award did it win? Brightest Idea.
Yeah.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, with that sort of made fools of us, haven't it? Really.
Well, it hasn't. It has and it hasn't. It's. I would actually argue that it's almost kind of backed us up, because
not really, because if you'll recall, we did actually give it Brightest Idea again when we knew it was Margot Robbie.
Did we?
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah.
Right.
We've had this conversation quite a few times.
It's been a long time in the making, hasn't it? Really.
Okay. Well, in that case, has made us look a bit stupid.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoyed this film. So much fun. Never ever would I have thought I would have enjoyed a film about Barbie quite as much as this. And yeah, the two leads absolutely make it what it is. They're so good, so perfectly cast, carry the film in a lot of ways. They bounced off each other well. It was funny. They had good comedic timing. Ryan Gosling's just, I don't know what it is.
Ryan Gosling is perfectly cast in everything.
It feels like that.
Yeah.
It really feels like that. His comedic delivery, it's so dry. It's just, he nails most roles. Well, probably every role that I've seen him in. I've not seen all his films, but every time I see him, I'm always impressed by him.
Yeah.
I thought the production design was great. The sort of Barbie land that they'd created.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah, I did really enjoy all that stuff.
Yeah. Looked great. Popped off the screen. Just added to the whole vibe of the whole film.
And it was funny. All the fake sort of stuff.
There was a lot of visual gags.
The records without any sort of grooves in them. The shower that doesn't have any water. It was all great.
Yeah, lots of visual gags. And yeah, just right from the off, really, I was into it. I had a lot of fun. Thought most of the songs were good, catchy. Michael Cera, he put in a memorable performance. Good. What was his name again? I can't remember what his name was now.
Alan, I think.
Alan, that was it. He was fantastic. And yeah, I mean, I went into it, thinking that I was slightly nervous, because as much as I wanted to enjoy it, I was slightly apprehensive that, obviously, because going into it what the messaging is going to be about, feminism, all power to the girls and all that stuff. And that's all great. Not that I'm against that, but often when films go for something like that, it's done, just way too on the nose, and it just becomes cringy, and it's just hard to get behind. But with this, I thought they did a good job, really, on the whole. Richie's right. There was some cringy moments and some cringy dialogue. But on the whole, I thought they did a good job of keeping it light, keeping it funny. And although obviously that messaging was there, it wasn't distracting, and I was still able to enjoy it. And thought they did a good job with that. And I will say, Kate McKinnon, usually I hate everything she's in, but I know she only had a small role, but I actually think she was quite good. So I wanted to point that out, because I'm always quick to pounce on her when she's shite, which she so often is. So it was refreshing to see her do something that I thought was quite good. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this film. And yeah, I'm very glad that, for me anyway, it lived up to the hype.
Cool. Woody?
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said so far. I kind of in both of your camps really in terms of it. I think there
Okay.
was some moments that genuinely were hilarious. Proper laugh out loud and just great bits of cinema that really do stick in memory. The Ken battle scene is by far and away one of the funniest things I've seen all year. And Jack's right. The best things were like the set design, the songs, and the whole Barbie land and the whole feel of it was definitely the best parts of the film. And that's where I could kind of slip into what Richie was saying. That it does. I mean, we'll obviously it's been out for a while now, so we will just sort of talk quite openly about it. When we start pissing around trying to go into real world, it does lose its charm, and it
There were
does.
some good scenes in that real world, though.
There were,
Yeah.
but
Like Ryan Gosling when he was in, thinking that he deserved all these jobs just because he was a man. And
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that stuff was very, very funny actually when he's trying to. Yeah, and I did like the idea of him bringing that back to Barbie world.
Yeah.
I still feel that the film did kind of just it lost a bit of what it had that was kind of special and what it was going for, and it just kind of it then turns its head in terms of what it wants to do with the messaging, and it just becomes a bit too much. And Richie talked about America Ferrera and her character. I mean, the dialogue, the monologue that she has with her daughter towards the end.
Oh God, yeah.
Cringy. And talk about shoving your message down the audience's throat.
I mean, that's what immediately popped into my head when Jack said that when films do this, usually they can be a bit too on the nose. That came into my head immediately when you said that.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you on that point.
But yeah, I mean, I did enjoy it, and I think if I saw it again, I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. I mean, that's my kind of takeaway now. Just being about 2 months removed since I've seen this, I definitely think I wouldn't have that same feeling coming out and just being on a high because of how funny it is. Because of that that drop off in the second half. But as we said, there is some really great moments in there, and obviously Margot and Ryan Gosling are amazing. We've been banging his drum for years now, haven't we? So it's just great to see him. Just being a great actor.
Definitely.
Can't really say much more than that, to be honest.
I feel the same as you, Woody. That I don't think I would sort of enjoy it as much on a second watch.
I think because of all that build up, when you see something for the first time, and it's
I wonder if also we might have been a bit starved for sort of anything. After we just had the Across the Spider-Verse.
But you've also got to remember. I know we're talking about the Brighton's idea and stuff, but when they dropped that teaser trailer, we were all like, right, okay, now that is really, really wet the whistle there, because it was one of the best teaser trailers ever. But then unfortunately, go on, mate.
I was going to ask that because the teaser trailer came out and then they released an extended trailer, didn't they? And I can't remember. I think somebody said, "Oh, I might be wrong," but somebody said, "I wish I'd not seen that now because that just seems."
I said that.
Yeah. Was it better than? Did it have all? Because I know trailers tend to have all the best bits and stuff like that. Did the trailer just contain all the best bits, or was there more? Did you feel?
No, it didn't contain all the best bits, but
it kind of. Oh, was it just frozen?
No, sorry, I was just. I didn't want to sort of like interrupt you.
Well, no, because go on, you go, because I was going to interrupt you anyway.
I was just going to say, I felt like the thing that was irritating about the trailers was that it sort of let everyone know that they go into the real world, and that just seems like, I think that's just something that would have just been a lot better to just sort of experience.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because the teaser did that great job of setting it up and being like, right, I can't wait to go and see this. And then the extended trailers, which then were plastered up every time you went to the cinema for playing them. And I can't remember what the film was, but I was actually sat there with my eyes shut. I actually don't want to see this because it revealed far too much, and it would have played out a lot better if all we had was a teaser. I know we say this all the time, don't we, about teasers and stuff, but like
Every
not
film,
having, yeah, but then not knowing that the Will Ferrell thing is going to come and he's going to do essentially what he did in the Lego movie, and his character's very similar.
A lot of similarities with the Lego movie.
Very similar plot. But if that hadn't have come, you'd have been like, oh, right, okay, right, this is taking a bloody gear shift, okay. But, you know, we did show the hand a bit far too much.
And it would have been funny. It would have been funnier because you would have felt like if you saw like Will Ferrell turn up in this kind of role in the cinema, you would have laughed and said, "Oh, like that's like the Lego movie." But because it was in the trailer, it just sort of took that impact away.
Yeah,
and sort of made it just seem like, oh, they're just sort of doing the Lego movie thing again, rather than it seeming like. I feel like if you just saw that in the cinema, it would have seemed like, oh, haha, that's a funny reference to the Lego movie. But it wasn't really. But yeah,
I'd definitely say, Joe, that it's definitely worth watching.
Oh yeah.
It is such good fun. It is such good fun.
Yeah,
it is good fun.
I think you'd like it.
I will get to watch it. Because the screenings, that was an interesting that I looked at, because for Oppenheimer compared to Barbie, when they both first came out, Barbie was looking at about 16 screenings a day. And Oppenheimer was about 5, and I couldn't get my head around.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah, the view at Preston, I think I looked on the first day, and it's like Barbie 16, 17 screenings a day, and Oppenheimer 5. And now I think I don't even know if Oppenheimer's still going, but
it's still out.
I will say that I'm glad that of the two you went to see Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
To be fair, that was higher up on my list, if I'm honest.
You know what? Do you know what, mate? It takes rather large bollocks to go up to but we say, can I have one ticket for Barbie, please?
Yeah.
As a 28-year-old man.
Well, this is why Limitless really helps with this, because you just do it on the app and you walk in. You don't have to say anything.
But, yeah, I mean, I felt I went with a mate, and I felt uncomfortable as two grown men going and saying, "Yeah, going to see Barbie."
I think that's a psychological thing, isn't it? It's just but yeah, just sort of
just because of the name Barbie, like
just because of the name Barbie, and it's not. It's interesting because somebody at work took a kids. What would you say then? So aimed at kids?
No.
I
definitely not. And I find that interesting because there were a lot of kids there when I went to see it.
Yeah, there was quite a few. Yeah,
and also, what was even weirder than that? I don't know if either of you boys noticed this, but for all the trailers before the film started, it was all for kids shit. It was all for kids films.
I couldn't tell you. I can't remember.
And I found that so strange because, like, this isn't a kid. Like, I've seen the trailer and I know that there's going to be like pretty explicit adult stuff in this. Like, not like that explicit, but like,
what was the rating? 12A.
Like, there's a moment when Barbie just starts talking about penises.
Yeah.
Like, if you without innuendos and stuff, isn't there, thrown in there?
There is, and I can get behind innuendos because like they might go over the kids' heads, but she just straight up starts talking about penises without any innuendo.
Yeah. All my trailers were
it says Ken doesn't have a penis and I don't have a vagina.
All mine were like kids animation films, just like How to Train Your Dragon 5 or whatever. Very very much out
of Train Your Dragon 5.
It's very much out of line with the actual content of the film.
Which I think
it's definitely not a kids film.
No.
But then I think if you are a kid, you would, because like the way that they set the world up and the look and feel of it, you would enjoy those bits.
You still enjoy the music and the.
But then you must be.
I don't think they did.
You wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't get a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, but there's still definitely some parts where it feels like I don't think kids should be here for this.
No, there's definitely a few moments, but I wouldn't say there's a lot.
No, there's not loads, but
I can't actually remember what the rating is, but I assume it was a 12A. Maybe it was a
absolutely.
15.
No, I think it was 12. No, it wasn't 15.
Yeah, and I was actually a bit concerned about the experience, because obviously I do enjoy a packed cinema, because you rarely get it these days. So I do enjoy it whenever it happens. But for this film, I was like, oh, this is going to be
Oh
just
yeah,
screeching and loud, and it's just not the type of crowd that, because some crowds, like, it's not a problem, but with this I was anticipating it to be a bit of a problem. But do you know what, it wasn't really.
everyone was very respectful in my screening, and it was packed.
Yeah.
It's funny how, like, in a film like this, a comedy, and there's lots of, like, kids around, you get more respect. It seems to be more respectful and less noisy than if you were just to go and see the next horror film that's on.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. I mean, obviously it was loud at times, but everyone was laughing at the right moments. It wasn't like random just chatting and stuff. So
yeah.
But it did take a while to get a ticket. Every single screening was sold out.
Same. I've never seen.
Same with
I don't remember the
Oppenheimer.
last time I'd seen the cinema so packed. It was so great to see. It was absolutely
it was great.
Rammed when I went to both screenings on the same day. I couldn't get a space in the car park, and I mean, you boys have seen how big that car park is.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy.
What did you do?
And it was a bright sunny day as well. Well, I think eventually I managed to find one, but it was very difficult.
Yeah. I mean, that's the interesting thing about this whole Barbenheimer thing, is both films kind of helped each other out, didn't they? Because it became this thing of, like, Barbenheimer and the double bill, and how they came out on the same day, and yet there's such a big contrast.
Yeah.
Because I remember before they were actually released, I read a quote from Christopher Nolan saying that he was actually a bit, like, I don't know what the word was, like, basically unhappy that Barbie was coming out on the same day, because he knew how much hype that film had and how it would take people away from his film. But turned out to be one of the best things that could have happened.
Yeah, didn't do much for Mission Impossible though, I don't think.
Yeah, that suffered. Yeah. Did that come out the week or two before? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
And that definitely took viewers away. Yeah.
Yeah, that one definitely suffered at the box office because of that.
Be interesting going
not
forward.
Not from me though. I went to see it.
Yeah, you completed your mission.
Yes.
I loved reading those. They were great.
That's good fun.
But I wonder if, like, as a result of this, which obviously wasn't planned, maybe it was, who knows, but I don't think it was. Will we see similar, like, will studios actually try and do it on purpose now and speak to other studios? Oh, really? What?
Yeah. Yes. For not very long after, Saw came out at the same time as Paw Patrol, and the studios were desperately trying to get Saw Patrol trending.
Oh my!
And they just didn't get it. They just did not get what was good. Like, nobody wants to go and see fucking Paw Patrol, do they? That's not. You didn't get what was good about this whole thing. It was
that's amazing.
It was pathetic. But yeah, so that's already happened, and so yeah, I think that will probably happen. Marketing teams will be trying that out, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Right, but I think we should move on. We've managed to talk about that more so than I thought after so long. I think we should move on to talk about the big Nolan film of the year, Oppenheimer.
Well, let's go to Mr. McClafferty, because he has to.
Yes, I was about to say, Pepster.
So, boys, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. You will never hear.
How long was this, Pepster?
You will never hear these words come out of my mouth again about a film. 3 hours of absolute magic. It was great. Loved it from start to finish. Yeah, great. I just thought it looked amazing. The sound will probably come onto it and maybe talk a little bit more. I didn't think it was as bad as his last film.
You're talking about in terms of
It said it,
levels,
like
how well you
levels
can hear
and
the
recording and
Hearing
things.
the dialogue.
Yeah, I thought it was better as well.
I thought it was better. I saw quite a few like reviews or people posting on different things saying, "Oh, the sound quality is rubbish," and this, that, and the other. I mean, I think it could have been better, but
there were parts where I was struggling, but it was definitely much easier than with Tenet. But then there's less absolute madness going on in the film.
That's true. So, but I thought from start to finish, it was engaging. I didn't start feeling the length or anything like that. It just kept me engaged throughout. I thought I didn't feel like there was any points that dragged. And at the end, I just thought it was a great film. Absolutely up there, best film of the year.
So can we please get you to reconsider that 3 hours is perfectly worth investing your time into a film
for the right film?
For the right film, for the right film, any day of the week for the right film, any day of the week.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I just loved it, boys. So yeah, so glad to have gone and seen it.
And what do you think of Cillian Murphy?
Fab. I thought the cast in general was great. Really top billing, absolutely top billing. Albert Einstein with a little bit of a cameo in there.
Yeah,
that was a little bit of a right. Okay.
He's a great little actor, isn't he, Albert? I didn't know.
Oh yeah. So no, it was loved it, absolutely loved it.
That's brilliant. I'm glad to hear that. Who wants to go next? Anyone want to offer an opposing opinion to Pepster?
I don't think you're gonna get one.
No.
I don't think you're gonna get one, I'm afraid.
I want to hear Woody's thoughts because I've been tentatively refreshing Letterboxd.
Yeah, well, I was saying to Richard before, but
I saw Grace 5 stars.
Yeah, she's gone in with 5. I just haven't had time to actually log it. I've been quite busy. But, so just going on the back of what we're talking about in terms of Barbenheimer and how busy the cinemas were. I only saw this on Sunday, so I saw this just for the listener. I saw the date was Sunday, 17th of September. So we're going 2 months more than since it was actually released.
Is that right?
This was July, wasn't it? Like start of July,
21st, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. So nearly 2 months. So thanks for that, Jack. Edit that bit out. But no, because of popularity of it, and because we have got people that wouldn't normally go to the cinema and fork out a bit more to go and see it in a proper big IMAX screen or just any big screen that you can get, just meant that every time I was going on apps to see it, not even in IMAX, just to see it on a normal view or Odeon screen, it's just full up. Or just reduced to, like the aisles and stuff. And if you're going to do it, you got to do it properly, haven't you?
That's why I waited.
Yeah, that's why I was holding off. And finally got in at 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning to go watch this. But I agree with everything that Pep said. I think it was incredible. The final third of that film was incredibly tense and just... the way it was directed, the way it was acted, some of the best cinema that I've seen for a long time. The way that played out. I love a good sort, back and forth bit of courtroom style drama. And when the plan and the backstabbing and all that was being revealed, it was just incredible to watch.
When Rami Malek turned up.
Yeah, because I thought. He had one scene, didn't say anything. I thought, Christ, that's a Sean Bean award right there.
Yeah.
And then
I thought that as well. I was like,
all of a sudden he comes into his own at the end, and it's brilliant. But
he's gone from being the villain in a Bond film to just 2 seconds saying nothing.
Yeah. He's done like a reverse Batista, hasn't he?
No, I'm really glad you said that though, because I felt exactly the same way when it was that final third of the film. I was really loving all that. That was the best part of the film for me.
I do kind of maybe disagree slightly with Pep where he said it flowed. I did think it took a while for him to get to the point of detonation of a bomb.
Yeah.
And there were a few bits in the middle where, because there's a lot of characters, there's a lot of scientists, there's a lot of the same kind of scene where, I don't know, that's the way it is, isn't it? But there's just a lot of repetition until we actually got to that point. I thought, you know what, maybe you could shave a bit of them off and it could have flowed a bit more. But I mean, that is, just nitpicking, really. I mean, obviously, Cillian Murphy is just outstanding.
Yeah.
But I think everyone else did a great job. Even big names that had a smaller role. Like getting Gary Oldman in for one scene. I mean, it's just the power of Christopher Nolan. But I tell you, one of my favorite performances is actually Robert Downey Jr. Because
I've
not seen him do anything.
So good to see him. Yeah,
for
so good to see him act.
Actually forget
get his teeth into a character.
How good an actor he is, and that character was just brilliant. And
you do sort of forget so many years of Iron Man and not seeing in him anything else. Actually, what was that film he made? Didn't he do not Sherlock? There was another one where he was like Dr. Dolittle or something.
He did. Hey, he also did Sherlock Holmes. Come on now.
No, I know he did Sherlock, but
Sherlock Holmes.
He did a Dolittle film, which I didn't see.
He didn't do Sherlock.
What? Sherlock Holmes, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, yes, I totally agree with everything that's been said. Proper film is how I'd describe this. Everything about it, all elements, unbelievable craft. Chris Nolan is a master, isn't he? I mean, he really, really is. If you look at his career, the sort of the differences in the genres, whatever he turns his hand to, he can just master it and craft it into a perfect film. It seems like sci-fi, war epics, he's superhero films. He's just got it all, and
you can just see the love in everything he does.
You can, you can, yeah. That's a good point. You can see that passion coming through, and obviously because of how good he is and what he's done up to this point, you can see the studios are just stepping back and saying, right, go and make whatever you want to do. And some really interesting sort of creative choices in there, like with the Robert Downey Jr. scenes, to have them in the monochrome.
I loved all that.
Just little touches like that, just a real master and a guy who's just so confident in what he's doing. And it's a story that I didn't know about before this film. Sort of, I mean, obviously I know about Hiroshima and the bomb, but the man behind it, how it came to be, didn't know any of it. Fascinating story. And Cillian Murphy, just outstanding. That's the best word to use, really. He has to be talked about for the Oscars. I hope he is. It's just
a bit of a travesty if he doesn't.
It would be an absolute travesty.
Film at Oscars, of course he will be. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to give anything away, behind the scenes. He was superb. Everyone in it. It was a proper ensemble cast, and it was just. I thought the score added a lot, and even though I agree with Woody, and it obviously did take a while to get to the detonation, I personally didn't really have an issue with that because I was just so into it. I was just hanging on every word. The score was obviously used as a real way to build the tension, and not even just the score, but those flashes of quite disorient visuals. Yeah, I can't even know how to describe it, but it was almost like just trying to emphasize the power of what was being created, and that little clicking noise that you heard. So all that was just brilliantly done, and actually when it did come, I was expecting obviously not what we got, which I mean, I'm sure I can say it, can I?
Yeah.
Go on.
God.
Silence, just complete silence.
Mm.
And that was actually way more powerful than what we could have got, which was just obviously really, really loud. Or I don't even know how they would have done it, because actually that made perfect sense.
You're right. That definitely had the goosebumps flowing.
Yeah, and I like how he allowed it to sit on that for perhaps longer than you would naturally kind of think to do. Yeah, so I loved it. Definitely one of my, well, probably my favorite film of the year so far. I can't think of anything that touches it, and I'd be surprised if there's anything that there might be something that's as good, but I can't see anything. Possibly Blackberry. Yes, we haven't seen it yet.
Probably not.
But yeah, I just loved it, and it was definitely worth waiting for the IMAX experience. It's just, did anyone see the picture of the actual IMAX film, like the actual roll of film that gets put into the IMAX? It was like,
oh, sorry, yes, I did see that.
I can't remember the sort of, because it listed like it's how long it was and the weight of it. I can't remember obviously the numbers, but just this massive roll of film.
So cool.
Really cool.
That is my only downside. I wish I'd have gone and seen it in IMAX, really. I think it would have.
I thought you were going to say, that was my only downside. I wish it was shot on digital and not film.
No, I sort of wish I would have, got a chance to see it in IMAX. But I think like you say, Wood, just waiting for, just trying to get a show in. It's
because that's the first film I've seen in IMAX, and it definitely did make a difference. I was thinking it's more of a sound, I thought, than the actual pictures at times. The sound, and what that moment then, Jack, when it goes off and then it's the silence and then it hits you sort of a minute after. I mean, that was like, my God, is that being on a bloody roller coaster or something?
And the sense of being in a cinema, and everyone's doing the same thing. You can almost feel an intake of breath. No one's breathing. It's that collective thing as well. It's that experience of being in the cinema and everyone's on tenterhooks.
I kept thinking I should have gone to IMAX as well, but I went to see it in the Dolby.
That's really good as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure IMAX is probably better, but I think in isolation I probably wouldn't really be able to tell much of a difference. I think I'd probably be able to tell a difference if I went to see it 2 days in a row in each sort of setting. But yeah, I was very blown away in the Dolby screen as well. So yeah, that was great.
I think do you think actually not really knowing much about Oppenheimer as a person and a backstory made a difference to just being able to just enjoy the film for what it is, not
probably
what's coming next?
It
definitely did for me.
I think so. I actually listened to a podcast before, a couple of weeks before. It was a 2-parter history podcast on Oppenheimer, and they released the podcast just as leading up to the release of the film. And I thought, I'll listen to this because I do enjoy history, and if I get into something, then I'll try and learn more about it. And I listened to the first part, the first of 2 parts, and then after the first part, I thought, I don't want to listen to anymore. I want to just go and see it, but I felt that if you didn't, I don't know what you think, but if you didn't know anything about it, it was executed in a way whereby there wasn't many questions. I know some films, if you're not up on the history of something, you're constantly questioning, going, well, why did that happen? What's going on there? Who's that? Whereas I think from start to finish, it was quite self-explanatory, for use of a better term. It didn't make it so over complex.
It was easy to follow.
It's quite,
I think that's right.
And Florence Pugh adding to her really cool filmography.
Who? Oh, Miss Flo. Yeah.
Miss Flo, yeah.
I didn't know she was going to be in it, so I was a bit.
Oh, really?
surprised. No. Bit of a surprise when she popped up.
It would have been good if Harry Styles were playing Oppenheimer.
Oh my god!
Oh my
Do you imagine?
god.
There's some really good performances in there. I really liked Jason Clarke, who was the not the
Like interrogator guy,
the
Oh yeah.
prosecutor.
the prosecution. Because I can kind of take or leave it, but whatever. I mean, he's never impressed me in anything I've ever seen him do.
I don't think I know him. I don't know. I don't recognize that.
He's just one of those faces you always recognize because
Yeah,
he's in a lot of stuff. Yeah,
I always remember him as being in Terminator Genesis, and he was god awful. So I think he's really had it in the back of my mind.
Yeah,
he's crap.
Oh yeah, I know his face. Yeah.
He was in The Devil All the Time, and I thought, oh yeah,
Is he a relative of
oh
yours?
yeah,
Jack?
he was in that.
he was good in that, but he was really, really good in this.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those ensemble casts where you actually, because there's so many people in it, you do kind of forget at the time. But I'm now looking through Benny Safdie. He's doing a lot of acting, isn't he?
His accent was a bit village, wasn't it? You know what I feel about that. And Kenneth,
Yeah.
even Kenneth came in and did another bloody accent.
Yeah.
He loves his accent.
God almighty, Kenneth.
Can't help himself.
You know what would have been?
Josh Peck. He has to be a contender for Sean Bean. Surely.
Yeah.
To Christ.
Yes.
The winner probably.
What Drake and Josh.
Drake and Josh.
Oh my god! Yeah.
But what
You
role
didn't
was he?
recognize him.
He pushed the button.
He's the one that set the button. Oh no, he didn't actually push the button, but he was the one that was going to push the button to cancel the bomb if needs be.
Yeah.
Crikey,
No, I
he's
did recognize him,
lost
but
a couple of pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And isn't it true that
he's come a long way since Drake and Josh? Yeah.
I think. Wait, which one did he play? Was he Josh?
Yeah.
Josh Peck. Yeah, he played
he's
Josh. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry. But I think him and Drake in real life aren't friends or something. I read there was some.
Drake's had some controversies that
There was some big beef between Drake and Josh, which was.
It's got more than that. It's got worse than that going on. He's got some paedophilic controversies.
Oh fucking hell! Okay.
Crikey.
As Drake.
Didn't know that.
I don't know how much validity there is to them. So,
yeah, alleged.
Please, alleged. Yes, absolutely. Please take with a pinch of hot salt.
You know what would have made it just that little bit better if Christopher Nolan was able to get Michael Caine out of retirement to play Einstein.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a shame. Is this like the only Nolan film without Michael Caine in now?
Yeah.
No.
Shit, yeah.
Well, since a certain point, obviously he wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Memento.
That scene in Tenet, they literally rolled him in.
Yeah.
They rolled him in, put his dentures in. Right, eat this steak.
Eat this chip for the next half an
There
hour.
wasn't much eating going on. He's just chewing.
It wasn't going anywhere, was it?
Chewing the scenery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Surely they
That's a
could have
shame.
found something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's got any more they want to say on this.
It's just fantastic. Well, yeah, Jack's right. It's got to be up there in the conversation for film of the year, and
Oh yeah,
it's going to take home a lot of awards when the time comes, because it's just so great to have. I mean, forget about Barbie and Oppenheimer trying to compare them. It's just so great to have two films that have just kind of saved cinema in a way, because before they came out, there's a lot of talk. Cine World has closed quite a few around the UK.
Odeon closed a few.
Obviously, we know Odeon had closed a few. And then we've had this summer of sold out screens all over the country. It's great. It's just great to see. And you know what? Yeah, if it means that some of us who frequent the cinema a lot more than those who are going just to see these, I'll happily wait my time to go and see it, because if we're going to keep them open and keep them in business, then that's what we're here for, boys, isn't it? So
it's been a weird summer though, because obviously that has dominated, and you had that. They both came out on the same day, obviously. Two huge releases, but aside from those two films, it actually has been quite slim pickings. You know, usually during the summer, I know it's blockbuster season, so you do get a lot of shit, but I feel like normally there's more options around. But since those two came out, oh well, we know why. Actually, has this got something to do with the strikes? Maybe.
No, it's too
No, this everyone would have been
too early for that to have affected.
Yeah, but films are getting delayed because of it. Like releases.
Yeah, they are now, but I think it's too early for the summer for it to have affected that.
Okay, no, but I mean, apart from those two, like, because I as you know like to go quite a bit. I've got Limitless, like to try and go at least twice a month to make that worth it, and I've been struggling because there's just nothing on that. I mean,
it seems like there's a lot of horrors out at the moment. I got a lot of horror trailers as well. It's been like 2 or 3.
I went to see one the other week. It was god awful. Yeah,
I'm shocked that you drew your line at Blue Beetle in terms of DC and Marvel shit that you won't go and see, Jack.
Yeah, no, I was never going to see that.
That's strange to me. That's the one where you're like, no.
It's not even
Flash. Hell yeah.
I don't know actually what made me not see it. I just had no motivation. Like I couldn't.
It's because you don't know who the Blue Beetle is, isn't it? You've never.
Maybe it's because it's a new character. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, but hopefully now, you know, summer's coming to an end, and we should see a few more interesting films. Obviously, we're getting towards award season, so you'll get your usual Oscar bait stuff.
Yeah. Well,
but
I don't know. We're not getting June anymore until.
Yeah, we're not getting June anymore.
Next year.
It was going to be a big one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There has been a few others, but I thought that's the main. That's like the biggest name that's been pushed back.
Got Wonka at Christmas, boys.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That looks very good, doesn't it?
It looks very good. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Boy.
When's Blackberry out? Is that October?
Oh yeah,
6th of October, Joe. Thank you for asking.
6th of October.
And it is getting, because we were wondering, weren't we, for like ages, is this a sort of film that Odeon and the chains are going to put out? And we didn't think it would be, but I got an email from Odeon. They're going to be.
I'm very happy about that.
I am as well. Yeah. Just shows the rise of MJ.
Yes, and speaking of MJ news, there's they're filming the Nirvana the Band the movie right now.
Woohoo!
Oh, they might have finished by now. I don't know, but yeah, that's something that I'm very excited.
So that's the current thing that he's currently working on.
I think so. Yeah,
that is exciting.
Stuff to look forward to, then, boys.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, other than that, I think that's that pretty much do it for this this section, will it, boys? All right. Thanks for listening or watching. If you want, you can follow us on Twitter at @filmnight_ or X, I should say.
No.
I mean,
we will not bow to Mr.
No,
Moss.
I refuse to call it X.
Are we going to be calling it Twitter in 20 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can subscribe to us on Apple Music, Spotify, or any other pod catcher or whatever that you found us on.
Podbean.
Podbean. Shout out.
Don't forget Podbean.
Maybe even YouTube if this is on YouTube now. We'll see. But yeah, other than that, unless anybody's got anything else they'd like to say, then I guess I'll say it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.